Draw quickly, but as you said, the party is far from over on Bourbon Street. He's Fletcher Mackel. I'm Keely Fulton. Normally your sports team, but today we're your Bourbon Street team.
And you know what? I'm not complaining because it's been a lot of fun. We've been here since 9:30 this morning. I still got a lot of energy because look at this crowd. It's fantastic, and it is only growing. People are just flocking down from Canal Street right now. Keely Fulton, your first Mardi Gras. Quickly, how do you like the French Quarter?
I love it, but what I love most, of course, is the celebrities, which we ran into a few today.
That's right. We actually saw some famous faces down here on Bourbon Street. Check it out. What is this, a wig? Because we know you just shaved your head.
It is. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know where my stylist was, my publicist, my people.
You are one of probably the more hated men right now in New Orleans. What happened in the Super Bowl?
Wasn't good. But we'll be there next year when we beat the Saints again. Me being Reggie Bush, I like to see everything I can see down here and more.
Well, Fletcher, we ran into the professional Reggie Bush earlier. Now we are with the collegiate Reggie Bush. Did you take the money, Reggie?
I always take the money. I always take the money.
But I did wear my wig today, mostly so people wouldn't be looking at me and laughing, but that hasn't really changed at all.
Do you think your music still resonates with people?
Absolutely. Whip it.
We hear whip it all day long.
I'm taking all the publicity I can get, which I'm so glad you're here, because this is just one more step for Britney Spears.
And it was great to talk to Britney Spears. Of course, we saw Devo, we saw Reggie Bush. Earlier today, we saw Slash from Guns N' Roses, we saw Matthew McConaughey. But my favorite celebrity of the day has to be you, Fletcher Mackel.
Well, gee, thank you so much, Keely Fulton. And I don't know if this is funny or sad, but Britney Spears checked back into rehab today. So we saw the fake Britney, and she gave a good interview. Sorry for the real Britney. We're going to stay here, though, and party on Bourbon Street. Are you going to love it all night long?
I love to party with you, Fletcher.
All right, it's her first Mardi Gras. She's going to stay down here until the street sweepers roll through and kind of force everybody inside the annual tradition here on Bourbon Street. I've done it my whole life. Keely Fulton's maiden voyage, and what a better way to start, kind of getting thrown in to the wolves right away.
I guess I better go get that Red Bull right now.
Get that Red Bull. I've had about a dozen today. Norman and Chris, for Keely Fulton, I'm Fletcher Mackel. We'll be back doing sports tomorrow, but we're loving our parade gig and Bourbon Street gig right now.
The last thing that guy needs is a Red Bull. All right, Keely Fulton and Fletcher Mackel, take care.
And they have a great spot. If you're going to be on Mardi Gras, that's the place to be. If you do plan on joining the thousands on Bourbon Street, you may get hit with some beads and some rain. WDSU News Channel 6 Weather Plus meteorologist Ron Smiley has a quick look at the forecast for this Fat Tuesday night.
I like how you said that, Chris, and you're certainly right. Along with the beads, some light rainfall could be possible. Don't be surprised if you see it. Right now, though, all the light rainfall is really on the North Shore. Not seeing much on the South Shore, but everywhere could see just some light sprinkles over the course of the night. This is what you should expect for the rest of your evening. 62. Just like we've been talking about, that light rain certainly going to be possible with some light rainfall out of the south, 5 to 15 miles an hour, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Ron.
Well, Mardi Gras 2007 went off without a hitch in the Crescent City as huge crowds lined the parade routes to watch the greatest free show on earth.
Pete Fountain's return after sitting out last year due to poor health heralded a beautiful day for Mardi Gras. Mayor Ray Nagin got into the act, arriving by horseback at Gallier Hall, where he would toast the King of Zulu and the King of Carnival. Not far behind, in an unprecedented development, King Zulu arrived for his toast a full 30 minutes ahead of his appointed 10 a.m. scheduled arrival. King Zulu, Larry Hammond, and his queen wife, Lillian Hammond, led a procession of some 60 units, including marching bands, riding clubs, and floats. Their theme, Zulu and the wonders of life, fantasy, and nature. But as is tradition, the day belonged to the monarch of merriment, Rex, King of Carnival, who wished his subjects a prosperous, cleaner, safer, and stronger city.
My best wishes and happy Mardi Gras to all, and may God bless the heroic citizens of New Orleans.
Rex, Dr. Ronald French, and his queen, Brooke Hastings Parker, presided over a 27-float procession with the theme Lunar Realm, probing the legends and mythology of the moon's origins and its changing appearance.
This, by the way, is the 125th ride for Rex, the oldest parading crew in the city.
And 2 big parades leave behind a lot of trash. Live at 6, WDSU News Channel 6 anchor Rich Len shows us what the uptown route looks like now. Rich, it's a mess.
Chris, all I can say is better late than never, because some of the workers have finally arrived here. We're right on the corner of St. Charles and Marengo. That's about 3 blocks off of Napoleon, where, of course, most of the parades have been beginning today. And what you're seeing here, if you can see over my shoulder right here, these are actually inmates with the Orleans Parish Prison System. They're going to make the first sweep. Now, they're getting to work. Let me show you what it looked like right after the first, or last, I should say, parade rolled today. This is St. Charles a couple hours ago when the sun was still out. And as you can see, I guess that means it's been a successful Mardi Gras, right? Because there was a lot of garbage out there. Now let's go forward about 2 hours, and we're going to show you when the workers arrived. And that was about 3 hours later than they normally do. Here's what the city has been saying was going to happen. You're going to come through with this first sweep right here with all these fellows with the rakes and so forth. After that come the big trucks and the street flushers. You're going to see a lot of water on these streets. And then we're told, I spoke with Veronica White with the City Sanitation Department just a few minutes ago, actually, and she said that they're going to make another pass tomorrow morning. So actually, you're going for 3 passes. This is the first pass right here. I guess they get a lot of the garbage up, and following them are going to be the big trucks, 2 major garbage trucks and a flusher truck, and then in the morning, they're going to come back again. So as you can see, they're not cleaning up right after the parades. They've been long gone, and there's still a lot of work to do here on the Uptown Parade Route. Reporting live from St. Charles and Marengo, Rich Lenz, WDSU News Channel 6.
Yeah, it'll be neat to see the progress. Thanks a lot, Rich. And we do want to point out the city has different contractors for the French Quarter and Mid-City.
In Metairie, the crew of Argus rolled down Veterans Boulevard in front of tens of thousands of people. WDSU News Channel 6 anchor LaTanya Norton picks up our team coverage from Jefferson Parish.
Behind these barricades along Veterans Boulevard in Metairie, there are thousands and thousands of families, and many of them are here for the very first time.
We're from Colombia, South America, and I'm here with my mom, my stepfather, my husband, cousins, and my daughter and my sister. And this is our first Mardi Gras, and it's very great.
As the crew of Argus rolled down Veterans Boulevard in Metairie, thousands of spectators were on hand, spectators of all ages.
It's fun. It's really, really fun. And I've never been to one like this.
And families of all ethnicities.
Well, we're really happy, and we would like to thank you, United States, to give us the opportunity to be here in this wonderful country. And, I mean, we're glad to be here. We're doing a wonderful job, too, for New Orleans.
And if you think I have a lot of beads, take a look at this. Families are leaving the parade with bags and bags of throws.
We're getting a lot of bids, and we love it. It's real great.
And while this is the first Mardi Gras for this South American family, they say it will not be the last, because when it comes to Mardi Gras, there's an understood universal language.
It's just party.
So needless to say, this parade in Metairie was a huge success. The turnout was great. No one's leaving empty-handed, and everyone's in the Mardi Gras spirit. LaTanya Norton, WDSU, News Channel 6.
All right, LaTanya, and this, by the way, is the crew of Argus's 35th anniversary.
And on the West Bank, families enjoyed watching 2 parades, Grellup and Choctaw. WDSU News Channel 6 reporter Toslin Alfonso shows us how folks enjoyed their day.
The crew of Choctaw is in full swing on the West Bank, and family fun is at an all-time high here. We're going to talk now to Samantha Wilson, who's enjoying the festivities. So what do you think about the parade so far today?
Oh, it's fine. Fun, 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 fun. Fun, fun.
What's been your most favorite thing that you've seen today?
Oh, the horses. The horses is the fun thing that I seen today, and I seen it's different because, like, when I go to the city in Zulu, it's a whole different atmosphere.
Where do you like this atmosphere better?
It's not as crowded, and it's more family-oriented for the children, because it's all about the children, you know? So it's just having fun. Say hi, Trey.
It is all about the children. Tell me about the throws. Anything great that you've gotten today?
The footballs, because my little boy loves footballs, and we got about 4 or 5 footballs, so that was the fantastic thing that they're catching the footballs.
All right, well, thanks so much, Samantha. Well, this is one of 2 crews that have rolled today on the West Bank. The crew of Choctaw is almost ending. They have about 25 floats. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Toslin. The Choctaw crew used to parade in Algiers, but for the past 5 years, it switched its location to Gretna, parading right behind Grella.
And, of course, back in uptown New Orleans, after the floats came the big rigs. The Elks Orleans Truck Parade followed Rex, Riders kept the parade goers happy by tossing big stuffed animals, among many other throws. The crew of Crescent City Truck Parade followed the Elks.
And if you're just coming back from a Mardi Gras parade, we want to see your photos. We have dozens of pictures in our WDSU.com slideshows, like this little reveler and his nice hat, and people riding on the floats. Email your photos to WDSU.com.
You know, Mardi Gras may have been a little too exciting for racing fans at the fairgrounds. A fire in a second-floor bathroom forced an evacuation of more than 3,000 people this afternoon. No one was hurt, though. 4 races were canceled. The fairgrounds will reopen Friday. The Mardi Gras Stakes race has been rescheduled for Monday.
Well, the parades are over and the costumes are out.
And we're live on Bourbon Street with more of the Mardi Gras season characters.
Hyman is tired of seeing the same traffic backed up week after week under the I-10 at Metairie Road.
Every time it happens, they have to reroute traffic all the way back to Veterans Highway in Fleur-de-Lis, which is about 1.5 miles. Tractor trailers cannot make the turn here without getting hung up.
The oversized 18-wheelers get caught just like this one, trying to fit into a space that's just too small.
This is the exit for the Veterans Highway bus. And so once they get stuck, everybody going to work is basically dead for the day.
Edward blames the faulty intersection on a design flaw, not the driver's seat. The Department of Transportation and Development says it's a combination of both.
This is a very challenging intersection because of the geometric constraints. The piers for the bridge can't be moved, and those were placed there when the overpass was widened a few years ago, and those are necessary to support the overpass, and they can't be moved.
The DOTD says one option to correct this problem would be to take these 2 turn lanes and to combine them into 1 lane where traffic could turn left or right. But that may cause congestion for traffic coming from City Park Avenue.
We may have to change the lane use right here with the striping. It would be something that would have to be evaluated.
The DOTD says it's still working to repair traffic signals and other storm-related road conditions, but it's hard for them to see every problem in the metro area.
Most of the time, our best warning system is our customers and the people that we serve to call us and let us know what's going on.
Edward hopes the DOTD will take action on his tip to help keep traffic flowing smoothly in the city. Crystal Booth, Channel 4 Eyewitness News.
To report any problems you may see on state highways, you can call DOTD at the
Nissan National Sales Race is on. We're in a race to sell 100,000 Nissans in one single event. That means record-breaking deals on high-performing Nissans, like $3,500 cash back or 1.9% financing on the Nissan Titan King Cab. 100,000 Nissans in one event. So, ladies and gentlemen, get to your Nissan dealer now and start your savings.
WDSU's communication technology is provided in part by Universal ComOne.
The WDSU News Channel 6 Carnival Spotlight is shining on the French Quarter again, and that's where we're watching the characters of Mardi Gras 2007.
There's some real characters out there tonight. WDSU News Channel 6 reporter Davis Brister is high above Bourbon Street with more on this. Davis?
Well, Chris and Norman, you've heard about all of the important people, all of the famous people here in Mardi Gras. Keeley and Fletcher showed you that earlier. Very entertaining. I got to hang out, though, with the average Joes, the regular folks, which, of course, make up 99.5% of this raucous crowd. They also have on some very entertaining costumes. In fact, we got plenty of them. Take a look.
I'm very, very busy today. I'm keeping Mardi Gras evil.
What's your name? Steve Gleason. St. Andrew Breeze.
St. Reginald Bush. St. Mike Carney. St. Mark Colston.
You almost forgot who you were, didn't you?
Well, you know, it's only one day a year I can be him.
It's a walking parade.
Yes, it is.
You're not walking.
Well, we're dancing.
Kind of like a little pit stop. We stop, you know, to get our legs feeling in and everything.
So you dance to get feeling in your leg?
No, yeah, we got to stop and, you know, do our business.
But, man, you got something on that mustache. I got something on a mustache? Yeah, right there. It better be gold or black.
I'm going to make a beautiful flower.
Where did you get all these beads?
Oh, up and down Bourbon Street and Canal Street, you know, getting beads. I ain't go to no parades, so I got it from, like, the guys up top. And here we go. Here we got a balloon.
Oh, thank you.
Smile for the camera. Say, I love Channel 6.
I love Channel 6.
And New Orleans, Mardi Gras 2007.
We're the angry little sisters of the apocalypse. We're here fighting crime.
Let's end it on that note. You're scaring me now. And I tell you what, not too many scary-looking folks out here. The crowds have definitely picked up. But, again, it's not as bad as you would think. Pretty tame out here. I got to cover it last year, Bourbon Street. We actually saw a lot of kids out here last year. I've seen a few here tonight, not quite as many. Still, I give it a PG-13 rating, so to speak. So I wouldn't recommend bringing the kids, but it still looks like a good time, and a lot of families enjoying themselves. We're live high above Bourbon. Davis Brister, WDSU News Channel 6.
All right, Davis, I was about to say,
I don't think I'd take my parents out there.
I don't think I'd take my children to Bourbon Street.
I don't know if I'd take my kids or my parents, for that matter. All right, Davis, thanks a lot. But we did find 3 generations of a family get into the costume tradition this Mardi Gras. They weren't 101, but 3 Dalmatians and Cruella DeVille watching Rex roll at Lee Circle.
Mardi Gras, we thought it was a great opportunity to get out and show New Orleans spirit, come dressed up. More people in the community need to kind of get in the spirit of dressing up, and it really is a community building thing, and people need to see this part of Mardi Gras, the family aspect of it, and I think that's going to really help revitalize and bring people back and show them the spirit of New Orleans.
Hurricane Katrina forced the family to relocate, but they say they are back for Mardi Gras.
And it was a great day to parade, but will the weather cooperate for tonight's finale? Your Mardi Gras Weather Plus forecast is next.
From WDSU, News Channel 6 is on your side.
We're just 2 hours away from the end of Mardi Gras 2007. You're looking at a live picture from the French Quarter where thousands of people are partying until the clock strikes midnight. Good evening, I'm Chris Fairbairn.
And I'm Norman Robinson. We've got a lot going on tonight. Coming up, we'll show you the 6 signs that show if Mardi Gras is back to its pre-Katrina party status. Plus, we'll take you out to all of today's parades on the east and west banks of Orleans and Jefferson Parish. And we'll check in at local hospitals to see how they're handling carnival injuries.
We'll get to all of our carnival coverage in just a moment, but first, breaking news. Just in the past few hours, New Orleans police found a man stabbed to death in the city's Lower Garden district. The victim was found lying in the street at Magazine and Terpsichore, stabbed in the chest. Investigators have a man in custody and are questioning him right now. Police believe the two may have had an argument earlier, and they're trying to find out if someone actually tried to set fire to the victim's car. Officers say the victim did not have any ID on him.
And now back to our Mardi Gras coverage and the bash on Bourbon Street, where thousands of people are partying until the clock strikes midnight. WDSU News Channel 6 reporter Travers Mackel begins our Carnival 2007 coverage. Travers?
Yeah, Norman, I guess you could say we are at Party Central. We are high above Bourbon Street at the Royal Sonesta. Check this out. This is a live look down Bourbon Street right now. It is absolutely packed. You know, tourism leaders are calling Mardi Gras 2007 an overwhelming success. Much better, obviously, than 2006 when the city was still struggling to get on its feet after Hurricane Katrina. It's estimated, get this, these numbers are staggering, that about 1 million people have visited Bourbon Street over the carnival season. About $1 billion pumped into the local economy. A lot of these bar owners and restaurant owners say this was a much-needed shot in the arm. And check this out over here. Look at this. They're throwing beads at us over here from the balcony. It's a typical tradition. We all like it over here on Bourbon Street. It's wild. Everything is what you would think it is. Mardi Gras 2007, a success. The street is packed. It all went off without a hitch this year. We're going to have another live report coming up in about 15 minutes. For now, we're live on Bourbon Street. I'm Trevor.
And also there's a fasting that takes place on Lent and also on Good Friday. Now, of course, in New Orleans, I know what people say. They say, well, I don't have to eat meat because I can always go and have seafood and do all of the wonderful things that we have in the city. The idea, again, is moderation and sacrifice, whether it's meat or whether it's anything else. On Fridays, that's what we do.
What does the purple of Lent signify?
The purple of Lent signifies that this is a time of fasting. It's a time in which we withdraw from the ordinary gifts of life. And I think that it's a reminder, once again, that we want to sacrifice, we want to place our attention on the higher things, that is, the things of heaven and the things of the Spirit.
Father William Maestri giving us a lesson here on the Lenten season. Thank you.
Oh, Helena, thank you, and thank you, Roop.
And now we do want to check on our Weather Plus forecast. Let's turn it right over to Weather Plus meteorologist Ron Smiley.
Hey guys, you know, we did wake up this morning and saw some light rainfall pushing through all of southeast Louisiana. This is actually what it looked like at the airport in Kenner, and you can begin to see those slick streets outside. Actually probably helped in the cleanup effort on Bourbon. Let's go over to our radar network and begin to show you the clouds that were, rainfall I should say, that we're still seeing out here in southeast Louisiana. Most of this moving at around 15 miles an hour from the west to the east. And with that, I think that over the next hour, we'll really begin to see the rainfall pushing out. We also wanted to show you kind of just the overall rain totals. And you can begin to see just south of Baton Rouge is where we saw the heaviest rainfall. Also back over into the river parishes, saw a lot of rainfall out there. Let's kind of zoom things out just a little bit and show you why we're seeing this rainfall. The massive system, cold front just to our north right now. Low pressure area just back into Mississippi, now moving into Alabama. There's that associated rainfall. You might want to ask, well, why did we see more than about 1/4 of an inch, what we were expecting? Well, the reason we were expecting that surface low actually to move into the northern portions of Mississippi. It actually moved just to the south of Jackson, and because of that, we started seeing instability just a little bit greater than what we saw. Now, the rainfall is now leaving southeast Louisiana, but look how closely the clouds are behind that rainfall. Because of that, I think we're going to get a pretty nice surprise by the end of the day. I think clearing skies, clearing conditions, could actually see clear skies overall by the time the sun goes down tonight. And I think that tomorrow for your Thursday is going to be another gorgeous day outside. Here's what you can expect over the next couple of hours. This is actually taking us into the future about 3 hours or so. You can see the clouds moving out, just like I said, around 4 or 5 o'clock. I think everything's going to be nice and clear outside here in southeast Louisiana. Next 24 hours this evening, this is what you can expect. Rain ending, remaining warm, clearing skies outside. Certainly a pleasant surprise. 72 today. The winds out of the southwest at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Always remember, you can always get your weather check at 207 WDSU. Here's that 7-day forecast for you. Just a light chance for rainfall once again for the remainder of today. Mild conditions moving in over the next 2 days. Next chance for rain will be over the weekend. Some of that could be severe. We'll be watching that kind of closely.
Also with the rain this weekend, I guess that's a good time for people to catch up on some rest after last weekend and through Mardi Gras.
Oh yes, certainly. I think you guys probably part of many of people that are looking to get some rest right now.
Rest would be nice. All right. Well, tomorrow afternoon, a congressional hearing will be held here in New Orleans to discuss the lack of affordable housing in the Gulf Coast region. Civil rights attorney Tracy Washington will be testifying at this hearing.
And she joins us now live on our noon broadcast. And Mrs. Washington, first off, what will be the focus of this hearing?
Well, I think everyone here in town has understood, be it because we have neighbors or friends or relatives, that we have a housing crisis here. We have a housing crisis because we've not been able to have housing rebuilt quickly enough. And we've got many public housing units that remain vacant, and a lot of apartments that have not yet been rebuilt and rented out. So Congress, which has allocated billions of dollars to the state of Louisiana, has asked the question, what's going on? Where's the money? Why has it not been allocated? And that's my understanding of why they want to have these field hearings.
So what is, in your opinion, the most important thing that needs to be done to increase housing?
Well, 2 things. First of all, we have about approximately 7,000 public housing units that can be refurbished and reopened. We need to get that housing stock back in the city because, as we saw in the reports even on the news station here last night, we have over 15,000 hospitality jobs that have gone unfilled because we don't have housing for those employees who need to get in. And then the second and the biggest thing, something I hear from in my office all the time, is how do we get the money from road home into the hands of these property owners as quickly as possible? And Congress is looking for suggestions from homeowners and has asked many of the advocates in the community to come in and testify and give some suggestions as to how they can take back control of this money and get the money into the hands of the homeowners.
What is the Housing Authority of New Orleans saying in terms of opening up these units? Or do they want to do it?
What they have offered thus far is a plan that might get public housing opened sometime in 2010, but reduce the stock of public housing by nearly 2/3, so that we would go from 5,400 public housing units to approximately 1,200 units or less that could be open to low to moderate income individuals. And that's simply not sufficient when you think in terms of what individuals make working in the hospitality industry. We need to be able to have affordable housing in the city of New Orleans, and that's what people that's what they've asked Congress to come in and investigate, why we don't have affordable housing here.
So what can we expect to come out of tomorrow's hearing?
I'm expecting legislation. The one thing Maxine Waters said the last time she was down here is, this is our money. This is a grant that we gave to the state of Louisiana to do something to help the victims of Katrina. And she is befuddled and frustrated by the fact that this money, billions of dollars, has not reached the hands of homeowners, and that we have housing stock that she's examined that should be opened now. So I'm fully expecting legislation to come in, and I'm fully hoping that the Congress will take some control, some regulatory control back from the state, possibly, concerning this ICF and the Road Home program, so that we can get the money into the hands of these homeowners as quickly as possible.
Well, Ms. Washington, keep us updated on this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And at 12:24, still ahead on News Channel 6 at noon, Britney Spears' trouble. We'll explain where the pop star's toxic lifestyle has led her to this afternoon.
Plus, the legal battle over what to do with Anna Nicole Smith's body continues. Find out why her mother says she has regrets.
And Carnival 2007 is history, but we'll give you a Mardi Gras breakdown. News Channel 6 at noon returns in just 2 minutes.
You've heard the expression, charity begins at home. Well, when you donate your vehicle to Bridge House, you get more than a tax break. You help needy people right here in our community.
You could drive your car in, or we'll bring it in.
Bridge House will get your Chevy from the levee.
We'll take your T-Bird away.
We'll even tow your Mustang down. So if you're ready to get rid of your car, your truck, or your boat, remember,
don't trade it, donate it.
If your house was flooded by Hurricane Katrina, you can turn this into this, and it won't cost you one dime. If you have flood insurance, New Orleans Demolition Services can demolish your flood-damaged house at no cost to you using ICC funds. Just call our demolition experts, 309-6865, and we'll do all the legwork necessary to secure ICC funding for your demolition job. Let New Orleans Demolition Services help you take the first step in rebuilding your life.
He's a man of integrity, and he wants to be an attorney when it comes to personal injury. One man stands tall, Chip Forstall. He knows the law, Chip Forstall. He's always on call. Injuries, no matter how small. Chip Forstall takes care of it all.
Even A1 Appliance and Electronics can't make laundry fun, but our wide selection of front-loading washers does save water, save energy, and save your clothing. Even those more delicate fabrics. Choose from all the leading brands and get our dependable service at the lowest price guaranteed. Life can be fun. Laundry? Well, we're working on it. A1 Appliance and Electronics. We know Louisiana. We know you.
News Channel 6 on your side.
Oops, she did it again. Access Hollywood is reporting that Louisiana native Britney Spears has checked out of rehab. The pop star checked herself into a rehab facility yesterday. The singer's managers would not say where the clinic is, but they did say she checked in voluntarily. This comes days after the 25-year-old shaved her head bald.
There is a new sense of urgency today in the battle over the custody of the remains of Anna Nicole Smith. The medical examiner said the body is decomposing quicker than expected, and she needs to be buried by the end of the week. NBC's Kristen Dahlgren has the very latest from outside the courthouse in Fort Lauderdale.
It is another day of all the conflict, confusion, and colorful characters we've come to expect.
Filing a motion to request that the court order the paternity testing of the minor child.
Anna Nicole Smith's mother.
She was so into drugs and given drugs and supplied drugs that, you know, that was not my daughter.
The mother and Anna's companion, Howard K. Stern, are fighting for custody of her body in a court hearing that often borders on the absurd.
I know that the wheels of justice aren't always round, those wheels. Sometimes they're a little bit square, and it's a bumpy ride like the Old West.
The two sides are being forced to agree on at least one thing. Almost 2 weeks after her death, her body doesn't have much time left for a public viewing, and it will have to be scheduled soon, if at all. And then there's the issue of Anna Nicole's 5-month-old daughter. From magazine covers to the courtroom, the question of her paternity is never far off.
So we have father, we have another man who may be the father, or if he's not the father, at minimum he's acting as a father, and we have grandma.
But for now, the hearing only seems to bring more questions and a wild show that could make Anna Nicole's turbulent life seem almost serene. Virgie Arthur, Howard K. Stern, and Larry Burkett are all expected to take the stand today, but the judge maintains he'd like to have a decision in this case by Friday. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News, Fort Lauderdale.
Also, Anna Nicole's mother said today in court that she regrets not being able to get her daughter off drugs.
Coming up in the second half hour of News Channel 6 at noon, was there much more of along the parade routes? Our Mardi Gras guide, Arthur Hardy, will join us in our studios with the answer.
Plus, business boost, what French Quarter merchants are saying after the big weekend.
And emergency mental health care is coming to our area. We'll tell you when and where when News Channel 6 at noon returns.
My workday goes from sun up to sundown. ABC made getting insurance for my truck real easy.
My patients depend on me to take care of them. When it comes to auto insurance, I depend on ABC.
The tips I earn make up most of my income. But the best tip I ever got was to go to ABC Insurance. ABC got me the proof I needed for less.
No matter who you are or what you drive, you'll save money at ABC Insurance Agencies. America's best coverage for less.
Beat the heat with a cool pool from Blue World Pools. Make summer fun again with a refreshing new pool right in your own backyard. The big 15 by 24 Econoline pool from Blue World Pools is only $3.99. That's right, $3.99, and there's more. A 15 by 24 pool for $3.99, and there's more. Yep, because each and every Econoline pool from Blue World Pools includes pump, filter, liner, ladder, and even a free automatic vacuum, all for only $3.99, completely installed on customers' ready site. That's a $19.95 value for just $3.99. Somebody give me a phone number to call. Have big fun in the summer sun with the Classic Pool from Blue World. Low in maintenance and high in style, our upscale Classic Pool is the luxurious way to spend the summer, entertaining with your family, parties, weekends, or after work. We've got the best way to beat the heat. Call Blue World Pools right now and get ready for big fun this summer.
After 40 years, the final phase is here for the phenomenal going out of business sale at Mike Beach Furniture La Place. Time is running out on your chance to save 50% or more on all fine furniture, leather, and oriental rug. That's a minimum 50% off and probably more.
From WDSU, News Channel 6 is on your side.
Welcome back. This is News Channel 6 at 12:30. With Mardi Gras 2007 behind us, numbers are being crunched to see just how well it went.
And one man who will be paying very close attention to those numbers is Mardi Gras guide Arthur Hardy, and he joins us now on our noon broadcast. And first off, Mardi Gras guide, how do you think Mardi Gras went?
I think by just about every measurable indicator, I'd give it an A+. I think it was just a terrific season. We were blessed with great weather, parades that rolled on time, more families than I can ever recall seeing along the parade route. And I'm told by many people in parades and the police department that Saturday night, Endymion Saturday, and Sunday, largest crowds ever maybe along Canal Street and St. Charles Avenue. So I think we have to give this one an A+.
Arthur, another thing that I noticed, you mentioned the families. So many more kids were along the parade route this year compared to last year.
There's no doubt, and I don't know why. It was almost like families said, we're gonna take this thing back, Even in the French Quarter, I found things a lot tamer. That doesn't mean that there was no foolishness going on, because there always has been and will be, I suppose. But primarily on Bourbon Street. The rest of it, even the French Quarter, seemed more family-oriented. So a lot of kids down there off of Bourbon Street, and it was just a mellow and yet a bustling season this year. Last year everything was scaled back. This year almost seemed like it was back to normal.
All right, let's talk a little bit about crime. We had a violent night yesterday after the parades were done rolling. Usually crime is down during Carnival. Your thoughts on that? Well,
Rupert's going to be around the country, I guess. Murder at the Mardi Gras. The things that happen long after parades had passed, and as far as we can tell, we're not in any way related to Mardi Gras. You hate to say it's a typical night in New Orleans, but let's face it, we've been fighting crime for some time here. So I kind of reject the notion that these are somehow tied to Carnival.
You talked about how quickly the parades rolled. Zulu and Rex, Rube and I were right on St. Charles Avenue, and we were amazed at how fast they were going. Have you ever seen such a quick pace?
No, as you know, we went on the air live 30 minutes early. Somebody said, there's Zulu, and I said, nah, I don't think so. And there it was, early. And they're to be commended, and so is the NOPD, Barry Kern, the Blaine Kern folks who helped Zulu get out there early and move. It's just a terrific day. It was, I don't know how much more you could have asked for, particularly on Fat Tuesday.
All right, so it seems that the crowds, as you say, indicated that the city was somewhat back to normal pre-Katrina. You think it was?
Well, not completely, but we don't have the 38,000 hotel rooms we used to, but we have about 9,000 more now than we did last year, and I'm told by hotel and lodging executives that we were about 95% full Mardi Gras weekend. That's just tremendous. Flights were full into New Orleans, so we're not 100% back, but we're miles ahead of where we were after 2006 Mardi Gras.
And final question, Arthur, how are you feeling today?
I'm tired. I'm actually getting ready to get some ashes on my forehead, and got a little day trip planned, some business, but I feel good. This was a great Mardi Gras for my business personally. It was an outstanding year, and feel very blessed. And I think Channel 6 scored a lot of points this year with our incredible coverage, getting 53 captains on the air, getting throws from all the parades. That lucky lady in West Wego that won, I wish I could have won all those throws. But I think we did some good work this year.
Well, get the ashes on your forehead and your backside of your head onto a pillow at some point here.
Yeah, I think so, Ruth.
Mardi Gras guide Arthur Hardy. We'll see you, I'm sure, very soon, and congratulations on all your efforts.
Thanks a lot. This has been a fun year.
And speaking of the end of Carnival, we shot some video of Bourbon Street just after 8 o'clock this morning. And take a look. Pretty amazing. It is so clean. At midnight, New Orleans police, along with state troopers, cleared Bourbon Street of all the people, and then overnight, SDT, waste and debris, cleared up all of the trash.
If you look closely this weekend, business looked pretty brisk on Bourbon Street during Carnival, but this is the time the numbers are being crunched.
And that's so important right now. We continue our Carnival 2007 coverage with Mel Ziegler, the president of the Bourbon Street Merchants Association. So, Mr. Ziegler, tell us, how did Mardi Gras go for you guys?
This Mardi Gras was an excellent Mardi Gras this year. It was fabulous. Business was great. The crowds were well behaved. The police department did an excellent job, and SDT did an unbelievable, impeccable job of cleaning up the quarter after Mardi Gras. I've never seen a quarter as clean as it is this morning after Mardi Gras.
Compare it to last year and then the year before that to give us an idea as to how good this was.
This year blew past last year. All the businesses are telling me that their numbers are coming in at Mardi Gras 05 numbers, a little bit above Mardi Gras 05 numbers in some cases, but everybody's ecstatic about the business. Now we're just looking to fill in the void between French Quarter Festival and Jazz Fest.
Was this also good for a some of the small shops in the French Quarter? I'm talking about like some of the little antique shops and clothing shops.
When I walked around in the quarter on Royal Street and Decatur Street and all those areas where those little shops are located, they had some brisk business going on. So I think everybody's happy this year.
And so when will the final numbers finally be in?
I think everybody's in their business right now, tabulating their numbers and everything right now and cleaning up and getting ready to open up tonight. But everybody's walking around with smiles on their faces in the quarter. It was good times, good money, and a clean city.
And one thing I wanted to ask you quickly here is Arthur Hardy mentioned that he noticed that there were actually more families in the French Quarter this year. Did you notice that as well?
Yeah, the costumes weren't as bizarre as they usually are, and there were even families walking down Bourbon Street. It was a good Mardi Gras to see that. And on Royal Street, they had some great shows going on Royal Street, too.
With the Bourbon Street Merchants Association, Mr. Mel Ziegler, come back and tell us when the numbers are finally crunched how it went this year.
All right, Rube.
Taking a look at a quick traffic note here. One lane of the spillway has just reopened after an 18-wheeler accident. Both eastbound lanes had been shut down since about 6 o'clock this morning. Traffic is no longer being diverted to Airline Highway. However, state police are still advising drivers to take that route and avoid the spillway to avoid long delays. Unbelievable video there.
Look at that video. Look at the goodness gracious. Wow. You know, more news in just a moment here, but right now let's get a check on your Weather Plus forecast. It was a really beautiful day out there, and just one of those days where it is a good day to reflect on this Lenten Wednesday. There was a St. Louis Cathedral and some people having a good old time in the French Quarter.
Yep, pleasant temperatures. All you needed was a little bit of a raincoat or umbrella. Now we're taking a live look outside through our Weather Plus camera. Still some sprinkles out there, as you can see on our Weather Plus camera. Here's Weather Plus meteorologist Ron Smiley. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Helena. Yeah, very light sprinkles at this time. The rainfall coming to an end here in New Orleans, and I think over the next 30 minutes we're going to see it pretty much come to an end all over the New Orleans metro. But as you were sleeping last night, this is what fell across southeast Louisiana, about a ½ inch of rainfall on the south shore, with just a little bit less than that on the north shore. Let's go back over to our live first alert, and just like I said, a lot of this rainfall beginning to clear out. We'll actually put this into motion so you can see how fast this is moving. Most of this about 15 miles an hour moving from the west to the east is what we have been seeing, so certainly fairly quick. Now, the rainfall is about to leave. The clouds won't be too far behind. Let's go over to our weather graphics computer. You can see that heavy cloud cover that's overhead right now. But look back off to the west, nice and clear. And I think that by the time that the sun's going down tonight, we are going to be mostly clear outside here in southeast Louisiana. So for the rest of the day, we're going to call it a high. Once again, topping 70 degrees, 72 with some light winds out of the southwest. Overall, though, not too bad. And hey, we got a couple of nice days coming up ahead. We'll talk about that coming up, guys.
Our local hospital is beefing up its mental health services to meet increased demands.
You know, post-Katrina, there really has been a spike in the number of people who need this type of help, and so West Jeff Hospital is stepping up its efforts to help. We're joined now live at noon by Mr. Victor Sims, a social worker with the hospital's Behavioral Medical Center, and we understand, sir, that West Jeff is basically expanding one of its big facilities. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, what we've attempted to do is to give us more space or help relieve pressure on our inpatient psychiatric unit as well as the emergency rooms. What we have done is develop what we call our Transitional Care Center. It is a program that we opened up with 12 beds, but recently because of demand we've been able to increase it to 24 beds. And what it does is it allows us to have a discharge plan for those individuals who are coming out of inpatient psychiatric hospitals who don't have a long-term plan of their own at the time they no longer meet the requirements of inpatient psychiatric hospitals. We're also able to provide them with a place to stay and some treatment to assist them in learning new skills that will assist them in long term, as well as look for long-term placements for the individuals. This has really increased our ability to service the community, reduce pressure on inpatient psychiatric hospitals, and to reduce pressure on our emergency rooms.
Yeah, how important is it to fill this need? And also, what have you guys been seeing in your emergency rooms with people coming in?
We've seen a great increase in inpatient psychiatric need. Due to the closure of the inpatient hospitals in New Orleans, we and other hospitals in the area have been taking the load for those individuals who need that service. Unfortunately, the bed space has been greatly reduced because of these closings that have occurred. And due to that, the hospitals have been really backed up. Unfortunately, we've had individuals in the emergency room for days because there's no place to send them, but they need treatment, they need care, so we'll keep them there while we're providing as much as we can until a bed can open up. The Transitional Care Center has given us an opportunity to treat these individuals and give the emergency rooms place to send clients who need inpatient treatment.
Is there a mental health crisis right now in terms of not enough care available to those who need it most?
Yes, both in outpatient and inpatient. A lot of psychiatrists, as you know, did not return to the area following the storm. Also, a number of hospitals closed their inpatient psychiatric facilities, some because of damage due to the storm. Charity Hospital, Truro Infirmary, and some other facilities which we were in a crisis mode prior to the storm, and now it's at an epidemic mode due to the reduction of these services.
What about people coping? Are people coping better with their mental health problems now compared to right after the storm, or is it the same or worse?
Actually, it's a little worse. Due to the reduction in services, the need that they have cannot be met as rapidly as they may need it. And we're doing the best we can to try to do that. But because of that lack of services, people are attempting to do things on their own. Unfortunately, we've seen an increase in suicide rate. We've also seen an increase in substance abuse. And this is an attempt, we'd like to believe, that's self-medication.
Well, Victor Sims with the West Jefferson Medical Center. It's good that you're expanding the services, but apparently much more care is needed. Keep us updated on efforts to kind of help this problem.
Will do.
Still ahead on WDSU News Channel 6 at noon, a new study could help prevent breast cancer from recurring. Details in a live interview when we come back.
NBC Tonight starts with an all-new Friday Night Lights. For young teens, it's the toughest decision they'll make.
I think it's time, don't you think? We're thinking about it.
Then on Deal or No Deal.
When the Greeks get excited, we like to break some plates.
A contestant gets a lucky break. And on Medium, can Allison change the future to protect her family?
You were there from the beginning.
Friday Night Lights, Deal, and Medium, tonight on NBC.
Hi, I'm Mackie Shellstone. As a lifelong resident of New Orleans, I spent the last 25 years helping world-class athletes and people like you and me to feel great and perform better. Let my staff and I help you to take back control of your health. Please visit one of my 5 locally owned and operated nutrition stores. 701 Metairie Road in Old Metairie, 2901 Magazine Street in the Garden District, Westgate Shopping Center on Veterans, Elmwood Shopping Center on Clearview, and number 2 St. Anne Drive in Mandeville. When you see me at the door, you know it's a Mackie store.
This is where I grew up, and let me tell you, around here, Morris Bart is a household name. After I got hurt in a car wreck, I didn't have to guess. I knew who to call.
I'm attorney Morris Bart. I help people who've been injured in and around New Orleans every day. Calling me is fast, it's easy, and I can get results for you.
When my case settled, Morris Bart got me $29,000.
Now, I can't guarantee you that kind of settlement, but you never know.
Morris Bart helps injured people every day, and he can help you too. You know how? Call 525-8000.
At Lakeside Toyota Scion, folks, we got some great lease specials. A 48-month lease on an 07 Toyota Camry for just $239 a month. Or how about a 36-month lease on a Toyota Corolla 07 model for just $159 a month, or you can get $1,000 cash back. And the truck everybody's been waiting for, the 07 Toyota Tundra. Largest truck in its class, 381 horsepower, over 10,000 pounds towing capacity. We've got them here, now, and ready to deliver. Lakeside Toyota Scion, North Causeway at Lake Hot Springs.
News Channel 6 on your side.
Angela, once again, this was the scene early this morning as about a ½ inch of rainfall falling across southeast Louisiana, and this is what it looks like now thanks to our First Alert radar network. You begin to see the light rainfall now starting to move out. Look at this. Basically from Kenner over to the west, nothing outside. Seeing that light rainfall still pushing through, but nothing too bad. I think over the next 30 minutes, everywhere in New Orleans will be cleared out of rain. Still have the clouds, but not too long. As we look over at our weather graphics, we'll begin to show you where the clouds are with the rain. First off, this is actually the infrared imagery overlay, and you can begin to see some light clouds still back around Baton Rouge. But as we switch over to our visible satellite imagery, you can start to see, well, there's that line of clouds right about where Hammond is, moving back around Houma. Anything to the west of that, nice and clear. Anything to the east, where New Orleans is right now, it is cloudy, but I think that that's all going to quickly change over the next couple of hours. This is what we expect over the next 4 hours. You can see the clouds moving out, rainfall gone as well. Nice and clear today. I think we have a couple of nice days before, once again, rain moving in by the weekend. Here's your headlines for the next 24 hours. We were talking about the rain ending. Pleasant surprise also, we're going to see warm temperatures still staying here in southeast Louisiana. Clearing skies also outside throughout the day. 72 your expected high, rain ending, winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Don't forget, always check us out on the weather check, 207 WDSU. You can give us a call. We are always updating the weather line for the latest in information. And if you call over the next couple of days, well, it's going to be pretty nice. Look at those highs, 72 on Wednesday, mild conditions moving in Thursday and on your Friday, highs of 74. The only concern is going to be as you wake up on Thursday morning, we could see some patchy fog outside. But besides that, just some really nice weather, temperatures lasting into the weekend. Guys?
Looking good. You know, today the widespread use of mammography is actually helping doctors discover breast cancer sooner. But unfortunately, at least 25% of small negative node breast cancers will recur, and those who develop a recurrence will ultimately die of that disease.
Now, a new research study called the TAILOR-X trial is trying to make cancer treatment tailored to an individual's potential recurrence risk. We're now joined live at noon by Dr. Carl Cardinal, Ochsner oncologist, to tell us more about the TAILOR-X trial. So what can you tell us about this trial?
Well, it's as you mentioned, it's trying to tailor the treatment of the cancer to the specific risk of the patient. We know that 1 out of 4 patients with early breast cancers and negative axillary nodes will ultimately recur. The converse of that is that 75% of these cases will not recur. And so we're trying to select out those patients who need aggressive treatment more than the other groups.
So, Doctor, what exactly is gene profiling and tailoring cancer treatment? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, that's exactly what we're trying to do in that we take part of the specimen that's been removed and submit it to do to assess a variety of genes, and this will divide the cancers into low risk, moderate risk, and high risk of developing systemic recurrence. This is serious recurrence in lung or liver or bone. And those patients at higher risk will be treated more aggressively with chemotherapy and hormonal therapy, whereas those at lower risk would receive hormone therapy alone.
We said this a little bit ago, that at least 25% of small negative node breast cancers will recur. We got that from Ochsner Hospital, that statistic. What is exactly a negative node breast cancer?
The usual pattern for a breast cancer is to start in the breast and then for the cancer cells to go to the lymph nodes under the arm. And the highest risk, of course, is when the lymph nodes are involved. But with patients who have negative nodes, they are still at some risk of developing recurrence. There's like 1 out of 4 cases will do that.
So, Doctor, explain who's eligible to be part of this clinical trial.
Patients with small breast cancers that are hormone receptor positive and lymph node negative, which are the bulk of the cancers we're seeing now that we're finding smaller and smaller cancers with the widespread use of mammograms.
Good information there, Dr. Carl Cardinal with Ochsner Hospital. Thank you. And if you are interested in finding out more about this trial, call the Ochsner Cancer Institute at the number on your screen, 842-3708.
In other health news this afternoon, the American Heart Association is updating its heart disease prevention guidelines, noting that even though heart troubles often hit women later, prevention needs to start now. Here's medical reporter Helen Chickering with the details.
But I had chest pain, nausea, pain through my arm.
All the classic symptoms of a heart attack, but Marietta Wagner refused to believe it was happening.
It's like, you're kidding. I'm 32. There's no way I could be having a heart attack.
But a closer look at the young mother's lifestyle and family history would tell a different story.
I was overweight. I smoked, had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, family history. and way too much stress.
Risk factors the American Heart Association says should be taken more seriously in women of all ages. The AHA is also calling for more detailed testing, clarity about the role of supplements, no to antioxidants, yes to fish oil, and a big push for exercise and healthy eating.
The heart disease is a leading killer of women message is one that has gotten a lot of attention over the years. The American Heart Association hopes the new guidelines will help women and their doctors put those words into action.
University of North Carolina cardiologist Dr. Paula Miller endorses the recommendations.
Women haven't been as aggressively managed, and with the new guidelines, we are getting more and more toward that.
It took a second scare to convince Marietta to face her own reality.
They said this time the stents can't help, and you have to change, you have to exercise.
A message this mother is putting into action. Helen Chickering, NBC News.
You know, for the first time, the guidelines recommend women to talk to their doctor about taking aspirin to prevent stroke.
When we come back, today's top stories and another check of your Weather Plus forecast.
Right now, you're watching us on News Channel 6 and on WDSU.com. Your ClickCast is next.
WDSU and Crime Stoppers.
Forming a partnership
to address our city's #1 priority.
Looking out for your family's best interests. Getting the word out and the criminals in. As we work to gain our city back.
Together.
Together.
If you witness a crime, call Crime Stoppers at 822-1111. All calls will remain anonymous. WDSU and Crime Stoppers. Side by side. On your side, New Orleans.
Attention Medicare recipients. If you qualify, we make sure Medicare or your insurance pays.
I called the scooter store. When they didn't call back, I called Mobility Depot and had a chair before they ever returned my call.
Because we're a local company, you don't have to wait to get the equipment that you need.
What little manhood I've got, I want to keep.
Call now, 800-551-5514.
Pawpaw has the coolest chair in town.
If you're in a wreck with a big rig like this one, call me. I'm personal injury attorney Michael Hingle. You need an experienced, aggressive attorney. Some big rigs act like they own the road. Get out of the way or get run over. If you're in a wreck with an 18-wheeler, we'll take them to court and they won't be so big.
Michael Hingle has offices in New Orleans, Gretna, Metairie, LaPlace, Hammond, Homa, Covington, and Slidell.
Before you accept a quick check, check with me.
Today we're talking with The General, spokesman for the General Automobile Insurance Services. General, your company is known for low down payments and super speedy quotes.
That's right, Steve.
But there are people out there paying too much for auto insurance.
A problem that's easily fixed. Just call 1-800-GENERAL or log on to thegeneral.com and get a super speedy quote.
You can also get your policy online and get an instant ID card.
It's quick and easy.
Call The General right now at 1-800-GENERAL.
Welcome again. I'm Helena Moreno.
And I'm Roop Raj. WDSU brings you the news 6 times every day on News Channel 6.
But you can always get the very latest news on our WDSU.com ClickCast. Let's get straight to this afternoon's top stories. Today is the beginning of the 40 days of Lent for Christians around the world. Thousands of Christians in New Orleans are receiving ashes today. This is a season to fast and sacrifice until Easter.
Also making news this day, now that it's the end of Carnival, you won't believe what Bourbon Street looks like right now. Take a look at these pictures we shot this afternoon, and you'll see just how clean the quarter is today. At midnight, New Orleans police, along with state troopers and the company SDT, cleared all the debris that was left over from overnight, and they picked up all that trash as well.
Oops, she did it again. Well, Access Hollywood is reporting that Louisiana native Britney Spears has checked herself out of rehab. The pop star checked herself into rehab yesterday. This comes just a few days after the 25-year-old shaved her head bald.
Time now for a check on your Weather Plus forecast. Here's meteorologist Ron Smiley. Ron.
Well, you know, as a lot of people woke up this morning, this is what fell overnight. About a 4/10 of an inch of rainfall on the North Shore, about 5/10 of an inch of rainfall on the South Shore. But the good news, I think that rain is coming to an end for your afternoon. It's going to remain nice and warm, actually, and clearing skies by the time the sun goes down on the day. On overall, Ash Wednesday, 72, rain ending quick look at that 7-day forecast. Looks like this. About a 30% chance for rain showers for the rest of the day. Fog as you wake up on Thursday. Guys?
Right now, the hottest hits on WDSU.com include our story about St. Bernard Parish starting to find people who have blighted homes, plus the video story of costumes on Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras, and the irresistible headline of sellers who claim to have now bald Britney's hair.
Bet they're trying to make a lot of money off that, huh? You can read those stories and much more by clicking on Most Popular on the right side of our homepage. We should also remind you, with rain in the forecast, you can always get your latest forecast on WDSU.com as well.
And also on WDSU.com. Remember, you can post your favorite Mardi Gras pictures all online. The slideshow, it's amazing.
Checking it out today.
And you can put your kids' pictures and your pets' pictures and everything else that you could possibly want on WDSU.com.
And that is the news so far. We thank you for being with us. Have a pleasant and a peaceful Lenten Wednesday, everybody. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
Have a wonderful day.
If you haven't seen a women's basketball game lately, have I got a ticket for you?
Great shooting, strong defense, teamwork.
At Tulane, women's basketball has a winning tradition. We've been to 9 NCAA tournaments, and our entire team is back, including seniors Jamie Montanino, DeAndre Henry, freshman All-American Ashley Langford, All-Conference player Jennifer Sands, and sharpshooter Nikki Luckhurst.
It's going to be fun.
Come check us out at Fogelman Arena. For tickets, call 861-WAVE.
After Katrina, our federal and state courts have been struggling to find people to do jury duty in civil cases because so many people have relocated, while others simply do everything to escape their civil duty. In a real trial, I'm not allowed to use a golden rule argument like, how would you feel if this happened to you? But here, I can say, what would you do if your lost earnings claim depended on a jury and all the people with jobs got out of jury duty? As Harper Lee's hero Atticus Finch once said, a court is only as sound as its jury, and a jury only as sound as the people who make it up. So when you're called for jury duty, please participate in this amazing experience. For only as a juror is a pauper the equal of a Rockefeller, a dropout the equal of an Einstein. I'm attorney Greg DeLeo, and this has been your Legal Minute. For more information, you can visit my website, email me, or call me at 522-3456.
I'm Harry Connick Jr. Hurricane Katrina devastated my hometown of New Orleans and destroyed the lives and homes of people all across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. But we're gonna rebuild.